concessions. What do we got? What are the main concessions?
So,
or any other pre-positioning of concessions? Over to you.
People know about the pensioner concession card. So if you're getting an age pension, then you get a pensioner concession card that goes with that. What a lot of people don't necessarily know exists is this thing called the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card. So the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card, the benefits are pretty much in the name. It's aimed at providing the same medical concessions that the pensioner concession card is, which is you reduce prescriptions, potential access to bulk billing, but that's always up to the doctor, easier access to the safety nets so you can get to them sooner, which means you pay less, and also potentially reduce costs at the doctors and specialists. Now, the thing about the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card is that you aren't eligible for a pension from us in order to get it. So it doesn't have the same criteria as a pension does.
So you could I think is it 65 for that one or still 67?
Age pension age, so it's still 67.
Yeah. So you could be overshot the runway, not have any Centrelink benefits, but still receive this card.
The important thing about it is it's not assets tested, which is often the big differentiator here.
Yes.
So it's not assets tested, and the income test is actually more generous than the pension income test is as well.
So if I was earning $1 million a year, probably won't get it?
Probably not.
Okay,
no.
cool.
So there is still limits. There is still going to be people who aren't eligible for it. But the concern is that if you know you're not eligible for a pension, you don't even look to realise that there might be other forms of support out there.
Yeah.
So,
and just on this, and I mean it's on the box what's in the tin, but the Commonwealth, this is a national thing because we're going to talk about other concessions that could change state by state.
Correct.
So this one is Commonwealth.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in saying that, in a way, it's sort of the same as the age pension in that there is Commonwealth benefits that go with your pensioner concession card. Same as these.
Oh, it could be state-based registration things. If you're activated there, you'll get this.
So what you're going to notice is that by state, they'll use your eligibility for
your ticket to entry. Yeah.
Yeah, so your Centrelink concession card will give you access to potential state-based benefits, which is they're different from state to state.
Yes.
So New South Wales is different to Tasmania, different to WA,
but like the motherhood stuff, broadly speaking, is on this card, the medical, and that's national anyway.
Yes, that's right. So in order to be eligible, you've got to be over age pension age, which is 67. You've got to meet the residence requirements. But the income limits is where it's different. So if you're a single person, that's 1,001. What am I talking about? 1,000. I can't even read numbers.
No.
$101,105 a year if you're single, or $161,768 a year for couples. We also have this thing if you are illness separated. So if one of you
someone's in a nursing care.
Yeah. So if you're illness separated, that figure is $202,210 if you're illness separated. Though again, it's assessable income. Now, the assessable income for the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card is a little bit different from the assessable income for the pension in that most of it is straight taxable income. It's adjusted taxable income. So things like salary sacrifice gets added back on, or if you're negative gearing, that gets added back on. And
or work benefits, salary sack.
Yes.
To like your car or something like that. Yeah.
So if you're still working and you're using those benefits, because we're not the Australian
and if you're
taxation
still working
office,
and you're 67 and you got help debt or something like that, any withholding payments would get added back.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything that might be trying to reduce your tax bill, that's good for tax.
So they basically look at the NOA, Notice of Assessment, for this assessable income-ish?
No, because that's going to take all those sorts of things into account that as reducing your taxable income. So we're going to be looking at your things like your gross wages, but it'll be your taxable income. But then we'll ask you on the form. Here's your taxable income. What does your tax notice of assessment say? And then do you have any of these other things? And we'll add them back.
Yeah. Okay. So, we don't want to bury the lead here, but I think the thing is there could be people listening who don't qualify for the traditional age pension that are under the income of 101 for a single and 161 for a couple who could still get this seniors health card.
The only other thing I wanted to point out is that we use the adjusted taxable income plus deemed interest from any account-based pensions that you might have.
Right, okay.
So because they're not a taxable income when you're over 60 years of age. So they deem those instead with, again, the same deeming limits of the 0.75 and the 2.75.
Okay, so if we dig a bit deeper here, if somebody was 67 and still working, and they had $1 million in their super, and it was still in accumulation phase, it doesn't impact this because the deeming doesn't catch it. It's still discarded by.
It's not generating a taxable income.
Yeah.
It's not in an income stream, so it's not generating any deemed interest from our perspective. We would not count that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's. Any other comments on the
Commonwealth Seniors Health Card?
Yeah.
The main thing is
what are the benefits?
It's those idea of those medical benefits. So they're the same ones that you'll be getting with your pensioner concession card. Your prescriptions at the $7.70 instead of the $31.60. Access to the safety limits faster, which means that once you reach those limits through Medicare, you either don't pay any more for prescriptions if you have a lot of prescriptions, or you don't pay any more for doctor's visits if you have those.
Yeah, actually, I remember now because my parents, I know that Dad had won lotto when he turned 67 and he got this card and he was still working.
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement?
Because if he has a lot of prescriptions, it'll make a big difference.
Well, I think he was just happy that he got a card. And I just think the public transport things, maybe in the state-based stuff.
Well, yeah, so with things like the public transport, that's not up to us to determine.
No, but that's
if
the
the case.
state-based.
But then you're looking at the state-based cards as well.
And I think that's the trigger there because it's a national show. That each state, they're just like, we don't want to decide who's eligible. We'll just pin it to the Centrelink eligibility.
Yep.
So if you get this, you can use this. Or if you get this, you can have one car free rego in New South Wales. Or
So with something like the pensioner concession card, you've got you've got the same medical benefits, but things like your electricity company say, well, we'll take that you're a pensioner for electricity, but you use your pensioner concession card as evidence that that's the case.
yes.
But
you can't use this health card with the electricity bill.
No, so it depends on what the company or the providers are deciding to do. So when you're looking at any of the concessions that you have, because it is state by state, you really need to know what your state offers.
And what company, private, non-government company, what they would do.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So have a look you can go to our website, which is servicesaustralia.gov.au, and look at concessions. There's a link there that actually takes you to every state and territory government. Or you can just search your state and territory government as well. And if you search for concessions, what they'll give you is the image of the actual concession cards, both ours and DVA's, so Department of Veterans Affairs, and they'll tell you the sort of benefits each of those concessions provide. And that's all just about making sure you're taking full advantage of every service or support you might be able to offer. But it also means because it's different state by state, there's no set number or amount of how much the benefit could be. So, yes, there's a lot of things you can get with a pensioner concession card, but if I can get things like the reduction in transport through my state seniors card and the reductions in the prescriptions through the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card, then the universal or the exclusive benefit of the pensioner concession card is less than
I'm almost thinking this Commonwealth Seniors Health Card, it is more of a benefit for your state-based services. It's just a tick box entry.
Depends.
Oh, other than health, sorry.
Yes.
If they've used this as a gateway.
But can't talk to the states. If you're going to be getting it, it would because certainly if you're entitled to it, then great. If you have need for prescriptions, then it's absolutely going to be a benefit for you. There's no doubt about that.
Oh, in fact, I might be actually getting confused with the pensioner concession card, which we'll get to. But before we get to that, I haven't filled the screen with text on this one. But how would you make the most of it? Just make sure you're checking with every agency that you're interacting with.
So check with your state and territory government websites about the concessional benefits, and also make sure that if you go to the same chemist or the same pharmacist, they actually can this is just a Medicare thing. This isn't even necessarily a Commonwealth Seniors Health Card thing, but they'll know who you are. They'll know you've got your Commonwealth Seniors Health Card. Keep that on record. But then they help work out, are you reaching your Medicare safety net limits? And they help, if you achieve those, then you're not even paying the $7.70. Once you've reached the limits, you actually stop paying for prescriptions altogether.
As long as they're on the PBS.
Yes, as long as they're the PBS medicines. Quite right.
Yeah.
So making sure that you are registering with the same pharmacists and they know what's going on with that. Also, just an aside for when it comes to Medicare and the pharmaceutical benefit scheme, make sure you register as a family.
Right.
That's a really important tip for those that don't know that, because if you don't register as a family, then you and your partner have to reach those limits individually. But when you register as a family, they're combined.
Yes, and it comes down.
And you're going to reach it much faster.
Yep.
So, register as a family. But from a Commonwealth Seniors Health Card perspective, check what the state government offers for you. Make sure you take advantage of that. Make sure your chemists are aware of everything.
Now, when you ordinarily apply for the age pension, you'd obviously have to do an application, get your number or whatever it is. What do they call it?
Your customer reference number.
Or CRN, sorry.
CRN,
Yep. To trigger the activation for this health card, is it the same progress? You've got to get a CRN, or is it a light application? It's like, how old are you? What's your income? There you go, done.
Well, it is easier because the income test is easier than.
And you don't need to prove all your assets.
No, and there's no assets test component of it at all. So the claim is easier, but as with all things, the more complicated your financial structures, the more complicated that might potentially be.
Or in your life is, usually.
Yes. Yeah. So if you've got things like businesses and things like that involved, then it can make it take longer. But it is a easier application process to go through. It is one of the things that you can absolutely do online, which is your MyGov account linked to your Centrelink record. It is important to say that if you and your partner are lodging an online application for the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card, you both have to apply individually. You'll be
linked, but it's individual applications.
But if you do a paper claim, which you are always able to do, you can either go to our website and download the paper claim, or rock into your local customer service officer. And
I got a random question.
Yeah,
let's put Justin on notice. Let's test Justin here. If two people, husband and wife or couple, both applied for the pension or a CRN, is it the one application with the two parties, or are they actually individual applications?
With the age pension, it's the one application for the two parties.
And would each party get their own CRN?
Yes.
Now, my question is, and this is of no benefit to anyone or anything, I'm just wondering.
Yep.
If there was a couple that applied for the pension, would their CRNs end in 07 and 08, or is it random?
No.
Is it sequential?
It is generally sequential.
Yes.
The funny thing about customer reference number is it's one of those things that you're supposed to have for life. So
like your tax file number?
Yes. So if you were a child and your parents got something like, what the equivalent of family tax benefit was way back when.
Oh, and they tagged a number on you as a child,
you will get a reference number as a child
or something.
Yep, and then that should be the one that stays with you for the rest of your life. So if you're looking at age pension, there's a very good chance that your numbers don't have anything to do with each other, because one of you might have had it when you were 6 and the other one gets it now.
Again, pointless, but I'm curious. So there we go.
But with the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card, if you're going online, you need to both lodge an application. If you're going a paper, one paper claim will take care of the two of you.
Okay, cool. Now let's just cover off these last three cards. The senior card's generally the least beneficial card-ish.
So they're state-based. Usually they're the ones that give you, if you
transport.
Your transport is the main one. And there might be other shops say that they give discounts if you show you've got a CD card or whatever it might be.
I would say in the scheme of concessions, it's the most superficial card or the least value, but still get it.
Yeah.
But
because my parents lived out at Picton, and then we were meeting them at Taronga Zoo, and they were busy gloating about it. It cost them $3 to do that. And
sounds like my parents.
Yeah, and
Brisbane.
I live in Northern Beaches, and it cost me a lot more to travel a lot shorter distance to be able to get that sort of thing.
So that's what it says. Still get it.
Yeah.
Pensioner concession card, because I do want to spend some time on the work bonus.
Sure. Pensioner concession card comes automatically with the pension. You don't apply for it. It just comes out with that.
Given to you.
Yep. Same sort of issue. But that one also gives you access potentially to reduction in things like your council rates, your water rates, your car registration. That is dependent again on state government. All of those are state government benefits. The thing about the pensioner concession card is that the older you have or the less you own, the less benefit it provides. So if you're, for example, having to, you can't drive anymore, you don't have a car, then there's no driver's license benefit or car registration benefit for you. If you have moved in with the kids, then you don't own your own home, there's no council rates, water rates. The medical benefits you can get through the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card. The transport concessional benefits you can get with your state seniors card. So a lot of people put a lot of pressure on wanting to get one of those, not realising that they can actually get a lot of the benefits other ways.
Yeah.
So
one, just on the pensioner concession card, and particularly in New South Wales, I can't speak for other states, it's a trap for younger players. And this happened to me. I think it's happened to me twice before. I've purchased a second-hand car in New South Wales off a pensioner. You know, awesome. Go to the Service New South Wales, transfer it over. Pension. Oh, you need to pay the pro rata difference between today and when rego's due. If a pensioner had rego on a car and it was $1,000 for the year for rego on the green slip, whatever, then the next day they sold it, you've got 364 days of rego you have to pay as the purchaser when you go and change it over to you.
Yep.
So you can get caught out by that.
I actually got caught out, not by that one, but from a farmer doing the same sort of thing with a car that they had on the farm that they were claiming farm rebates on, and I did the same thing.
Yeah. So trick for young players, low income healthcare card.
So it's in its title. The thing about the low income healthcare card, whereas the Commonwealth Seniors health card, you have to be age pension age to get it. With the low income healthcare card, you don't. So it's actually.
So I could be 58.
Yes.
And have a low income and get that card.
You could be 27. You could be 18 and get a low-income healthcare card. But it is in the title of it's got to be a person that's on a low income. So
what does Services Australia deem as low income? Is it under the first tax rate, 18.2 or?
We use our own rules rather than using those.
Of course you do.
Yeah, of course we do. So what we look at when you're looking at lodging an application for a low-income healthcare card, we're going to look at the income that you earned in the 8 weeks before you apply. And if you're a single person, it's got to be under $797 a week in assessable income. For a member of a couple, that's an average, it's $1,362 a week in assessable income. So not unreasonable, but certainly much lower than the pension income test or the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card income test.
Yeah.
It gives you the same prescription benefits, but in my understanding of it, states and territories treat that more like a pensioner concession card than they would the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card.
Yeah.
So you can
It's just a discretionary legacy thing.
But there might be other beneficial benefits that you get through a low-income healthcare card than the Commonwealth Seniors Health Card.
Hey, it's Glenn here. Thank you so much for watching today's video. You made it to the end. Can I ask a favor? Can you hit that like button and maybe hit subscribe if you want to get notified when we release further videos just like this one, whether you watch the Money, Money, Money podcast or Retire Right. And remember, if you want to learn more about investing, I've got an investing book, The Quick Start Guide to Investing, and there's a link in the description to get your hands on a copy. Thank you so much. Bye.